What if I told you that the world you perceive with your own eyes is not entirely as it appears? What if these relationships, this success, this sorrow, this joy, everything is part of a grand play, and you are not truly who you think you are? This is not the plot of a modern film. This is a profound philosophical mystery unveiled 1300 years ago by a young ascetic born on the land of India. The name of that ascetic was Adi Shankaracharya. In his short life of merely 32 years, he gave a new direction to the entire stream of Indian philosophy and consciousness. He removed 3 such veils that covered reality, which, if understood, can change your consciousness forever. This is the secret of Adi Shankaracharya, which can break our limited sense of I and connect us with that ultimate truth that we ourselves are. So let's go beyond those veils today and try to understand that truth. We all live in a very beautiful and complex world. We have family, friends, goals, and dreams. We wake up in this world every day, work, and consider it our ultimate reality. But have you ever, in the silence of the night, asked yourself what all this means? What is this hustle and bustle for? What will happen to this world and to me after death? These questions do not arise only in the mind of modern man. In 8th century India, society was going through a similar phase. At that time, many sects, cults, and philosophical ideas were prevalent. Some said that rituals were everything, while others said that this world was void. People became so entangled in external actions and beliefs that the fundamental questions of life were left behind. Amidst this philosophical and social turmoil, Adi Shankara introduced a revolutionary concept called Maya. Shankara stated that the world we live in, believing it to be absolute truth, is in reality Mithya. Mithya does not mean that this world does not exist at all. It means that this world is not as it appears. It is an illusion, much like a magician's performance. We are captivated by his art, while the truth behind it is something else entirely. According to Shankara's philosophy, we are all trapped in a golden cage of illusion, Maya. This cage may be beautiful. It contains comforts, relationships, and emotions. But it is still a cage. It limits our consciousness to a small I, and we forget our true, infinite nature. This ignorance is the root cause of our sorrows, our fears, and our insecurities. Shankara argued that whatever changes cannot be the ultimate truth, and this world, our body, our thoughts, and our emotions, everything is changing every moment. So what then is the real truth? To find the answer to this very question, Shankaracharya began his great journey. About 1300 years ago, in the 8th century, an extraordinary child was born in the village of Kaladi in the state of Kerala, South India. His name was Shankar. From childhood, he was endowed with exceptional talent. While other children were busy playing, Shankar was studying the Vedas, Upanishads, and scriptures. At a very young age, he had developed such a mastery over these texts that even great scholars were impressed by his brilliance. But Shankara was not merely a scholar. Within him was such an intense thirst to know the truth that it kept him constantly restless. He saw that people were entangled in external rituals, but very few were seeking that ultimate truth described in the Upanishads. He realized that the goal of life is not merely to accumulate merit or desire heaven, but to be eternally liberated from the cycle of life and death. At the tender age of 8, Shankara decided to renounce the world Renunciation meant abandoning home, family, and worldly pleasures to make the pursuit of truth the sole purpose of life. According to a famous folk tale, his mother was not ready for this decision. It is said that one day, when Shankara was bathing in the river, a crocodile caught his leg. He told his mother, "Mother, if you allow me to take sannyas, perhaps my life will be saved." Fearing the loss of her child, his mother reluctantly gave her permission. This incident is not just a story, but also considered a profound symbol. It shows that for Shankara, worldly attachments had become such a grip that liberation was only possible through the pursuit of truth. In search of his guru, Shankar traveled nearly 2,000 kilometers on foot and reached the banks of the Narmada river. There he met Guru Govinda Bhagwatpad. When the guru asked him, "Who are you?" Shankar did not reveal his name, lineage, or identity. Instead, he answered in 6 verses which later became famous as Nirvana Shatakam. He said, "I am neither the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego, nor the memory. I am neither the ears, nor the tongue, nor the nose, nor the eyes. I am neither space, nor earth, nor fire, nor air. I am the very nature of pure consciousness and bliss." This was not just a poetic answer. It was the essence of his entire philosophy. It was a declaration that our true identity is not this body, this mind, or this personality. Our true identity is that eternal consciousness which exists behind all of these. Impressed by his profound answer, Guru Govinda Bhagwatpada accepted him as his disciple. This was the beginning of that great journey which gave a new direction to the spiritual consciousness of India. Later, Shankaracharya systematized that philosophy, which today we know as Advaita Vedanta. The meaning of Advaita is not two. And this was the idea that in the times to come would unravel the deepest mysteries of Maya, consciousness, Brahman, and the Atman. This philosophy states that there are not two independent entities in existence. The ultimate truth is only one, and that is what Vedanta calls Brahman. Now we delve into that profound mystery elucidated by Shankaracharya, explained as the 3 levels of reality in Advaita Vedanta. The first level is empirical reality, which can also be called transactional reality. This is the world we experience through our 5 senses. This house, this road, these trees, our relationships, our work, and our daily lives are all part of this empirical reality. According to Advaita Vedanta, this world is not entirely unreal. As long as we live in it, we must abide by its rules. Fire will burn, water will drown, and gravity will exert its effect. This is a shared experience. The tree I see is the same one you see. Therefore, it is called empirical truth, because this world appears true at the level of our experience and behavior. But is this the ultimate truth? This is where Shankara's famous Rajju Sarpa Nyaya comes in, also known as the rope and snake analogy. Imagine you are walking down a path in the twilight. Suddenly, you see a snake on the ground. You are terrified. Your heart races. Your body reacts. At that moment, your fear is completely real. Your experience is also real. But then, someone shines a light on that object. As soon as the light falls, you realize that it is not a snake, but merely a piece of rope. Now pause for a moment and think. Where did the snake go? Did it run away somewhere? Was it destroyed? No, it was never there. It was merely an illusion, created due to ignorance and insufficient light. As soon as the light of knowledge appeared, the illusion of the snake disappeared. But the rope, which was the real basis of that experience, was there before and remained there afterwards. Shankaracharya says that our situation is somewhat similar. This world is not entirely unreal, but we do not see it in its true form. We consider it to be permanent, independent, and the ultimate truth. This mistake is the beginning of Maya. Just as the illusion of a snake was superimposed on the rope, similarly, we also superimpose our perceptions, fears, desires, and identities on reality. The result is that we consider the visible world to be the ultimate truth. According to Advaita Vedanta, empirical reality is necessary, useful, and even true at the level of experience. But it is not the ultimate truth. It is only the first veil of reality. And as this veil is removed, Shankaracharya leads us to even deeper levels of reality. Advaita Vedanta takes us to another level of reality, called Pratibhasika Satta. This can also be called virtual or apparent reality. The simplest way to understand this is the example of a dream. When you are dreaming, that dream does not seem unreal to you. If you are falling from a high mountain in a dream, you feel fear. If someone is chasing you, your mind gets agitated. At that time, the world of the dream, its people, its events, and the emotions associated with it all seem completely real. You don't even realize that you are in a dream. But as soon as your eyes open, everything changes in an instant. Where does that world go? Where do those people go? Where does that fear disappear? As soon as you wake up, you realize that all of it was just a projection of the mind. Its existence was limited only to the dream state. It was a private experience, real only to you. This is called Pratibhasika Satta, illusory reality. Such a reality that seems true at that moment, but cannot withstand the light of knowledge. Now recall the example of the rope and the snake once more. There, the rope was a practical reality because it was actually present. But the snake that appeared on that rope was a phenomenal reality. Its existence was only in the mind of the beholder. It was a personal illusion, born of ignorance. Shankaracharya says that we create many such phenomenal realities, not only in dreams, but also while awake. Our assumptions, our biases, our fears, our expectations, and our desires often prevent us from seeing reality as it is. We do not see the world, but rather our mental perceptions of the world. Many times we consider someone our enemy, while the reality is something else. Many times we seek permanent happiness in an object, position, or relationship, and later realize that our expectation was an illusion. In this way, we constantly project the colors of our mind onto the world. This is the realm of phenomenal existence. This level teaches us a very important lesson. A large part of what we perceive as reality might be our own mental construct. But Shankara does not stop here. If the truth of a dream ends upon waking, and if our perceptions also change in the face of knowledge, then what is that truth which never changes? From here begins the journey to the third and deepest level of reality. Before we lift the veil of ultimate truth, it is essential to understand how this illusion works. According to the tradition of Advaita Vedanta, Maya has two powers, and these two powers keep us away from our true nature. The first power is Avarana Shakti. Avarana means a veil or covering. This power obscures the truth from our sight, just as clouds do not erase the sun, but merely hide it from our eyes. The sun is still there, but we cannot see it. Similarly, Brahman, which is the ultimate truth, is always present. But the Avarana Shakti of Maya casts such a veil over our true nature that we fail to recognize it. But merely concealing the truth is not enough. This is where the second power of Maya comes into play. It is called the Vikshepa Shakti, projecting power. When the Avarana Shakti, concealing power, hides the truth, the Vikshepa Shakti then creates a different, illusory identity and the experience of a different world in its place. Recall the example of the rope and the snake again. First, the true nature of the rope was not clearly visible. This was the work of Avarana Shakti. Then, the illusion of a snake arose on that very rope. This was the work of Vikshepa Shakti. According to Shankaracharya, the same process is constantly going on in our lives. First, the Avarana Shakti makes us forget that our true nature is pure consciousness. And as soon as this oblivion occurs, the Vikshepa Shakti immediately creates a new identity. I am this body. I am happy. I am sad. I am successful. I am a failure. Gradually, this very identity becomes our reality. From here, fear is born. From here, desire is born. Insecurity and sorrow begin here. Shankaracharya says that the problem is not that we don't know anything. The problem is that we know ourselves incorrectly. If by this point, this idea is challenging the foundation of your reality, and you feel something changing within you, then share this video with those who want to understand the deeper mysteries of life, consciousness, and self-realization. And if you feel that the real quest is not outside but within, then definitely write only Aham Brahmasmi in the comments. Now, an interesting question arises here. Is all this just ancient philosophy, or is modern science also pointing in the same direction in some way? Surprisingly, these centuries-old ideas, organized by Shankaracharya, today show interesting similarities with some concepts of modern science. One of them is the simulation theory. Today, some philosophers and scientists consider the possibility that our universe might be like an extremely advanced simulation. This idea seems like a philosophical echo of Shankaracharya's Jagat Mithya, the world is an illusion theory. Both lead us to one question. Is what we are seeing the ultimate reality? Or is there a deeper level behind it? Another interesting parallel appears in quantum physics. At the quantum level, the behavior of matter is very different from our normal understanding. Scientists have found that the state of a particle is not fixed until it is measured. It appears in a definite state only upon measurement. It is necessary to understand one thing clearly here. In quantum physics, observation does not mean being seen by a conscious person, but can also be a physical interaction with an instrument or environment. Yet, this idea sparks a deep philosophical curiosity. If our perceived reality is not as simple as we understand it to be, could consciousness have a deeper place in it? This is where Vedanta presents a bold perspective. It states that consciousness is not merely a part of the universe. Consciousness itself is the foundation upon which all experience rests. And this idea leads us to the deepest level of reality. Now we come to that ultimate level of reality, which is the ultimate goal of Advaita Vedanta. Paramarthika Satta. That is the ultimate truth. This is the truth that never changes. It is beyond time, space, and causation. Shankaracharya calls it Brahman. Brahman is not a person or a deity, but that infinite, pure consciousness, which is the basis of the entire universe. It is like the ocean, and this world, this universe, you and I are like its waves. Waves are formed, they disappear, but the ocean remains the same. In the example of the rope and the snake was a phenomenal reality, that is, an illusion. The rope was a practical reality, that is, relative truth. But the ultimate basis of even the rope is the absolute reality. When the light of knowledge dawns, not only does the illusion of the snake disappear, but it also becomes clear that the rope itself is not independent. It too is an expression of that ultimate reality, Brahman. At this level, the distinction between the individual soul, Atman, and the supreme soul, Paramatman, ceases to exist. It is here that the great saying of the Upanishads, Aham Brahmasmi, reveals its true meaning. Its meaning is not, I am God, as is often understood. Its true meaning is, I am that supreme consciousness. My true nature is not this body or mind, but that infinite and eternal Brahman. This is not merely an intellectual understanding, but a direct experience. This is moksha. This is liberation. What impact does this knowledge have on our lives? Does this mean we should abandon the world? Shankara says, absolutely not. This knowledge is not about changing the world, but about changing our perspective of the world. A wise person also lives in this world, but their inner state completely transforms. Understand this with the example of a wave. As long as a wave considers itself only a separate wave, it always lives in fear. Fear of crashing against rocks, fear of ceasing to exist. But the moment it realizes, I am not just a wave, I am the very form of the ocean. At that very moment, its fear vanishes. Now it knows that whether it forms or dissipates, its true nature is the ocean itself. The knowledge of Advaita Vedanta gives us this understanding. It elevates us from the identity of a limited and fearful individual to the identity of infinite consciousness. Then, happiness and sorrow, success and failure, and life's circumstances can affect you, but they cannot bind you. Because you come to know that your true nature is far vaster than all of these. You play the drama of life, but you also know that you are not merely the role. This state is called Jivanmukti, to be liberated from within even while living life. In the Advaita tradition, a clear path is described to experience this ultimate knowledge. This path has 3 stages: Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana is the first stage. It means listening to the truth. It is about receiving this knowledge from the Guru and scriptures, especially the Upanishads, that you are not merely the body and mind, but the very nature of Brahman. The second stage is Manana. This means deeply contemplating what has been heard, to reason, to resolve one's doubts, to ask oneself questions. Could this be true? If my true nature is Brahman, why do I not experience it? The third and most important step is Nididhyasana. This means to be constantly established in that truth. When intellectual doubts are resolved, then to deeply contemplate and meditate on that knowledge until it is no longer just a thought, but becomes a direct experience. This is the journey from the idea of I am Brahman to the experience of I am Brahman. Adi Shankara was not just a great philosopher. He was a spiritual revolutionary. He taught that we are not helpless beings subject to circumstances. We are manifestations of that ultimate consciousness which is the basis of all existence. He gave us the vision to see beyond the veils of illusion and showed us the path to recognize our true identity. These three levels of reality, Vyavaharika, Empirical, Pratibhasika, Illusory, and Paramarthika, Absolute, are not just philosophical concepts. They are levels of our consciousness that we experience directly or indirectly. Through this knowledge, we can awaken from our illusions, learn to live in this world without being bound by it, and abide in our true nature. Shankara's centuries-old secret remains just as relevant today, because it has the power to free humanity from its greatest fears and lead it towards inner peace. The problem is not the world. The problem is our perception. And the day our perception changes, the experience of the world also changes. If this journey has awakened even a single ray of knowledge within you, then like this video and share it with those who want to understand the mysteries of consciousness, Advaita Vedanta, and self-realization. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And now I want to ask you a question. What was the most profound thought you encountered in this entire discussion? Please write your answer in the comments below. I would like to know your thoughts.